Thank you.
So static polymorphism, that is nothing but it's a method overriding. So assume the method is M and its return type. So public and its return type I am passing as int.
The screen is not sharing.
Oh, screen is not sharing. Huh? One second. So now it's visible, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So we are discussing about method overriding. So method overriding means same method with a different parameters. So I have written one method public int m. So why we are getting this error is because it's a return type is int, right? So we need to return something. So int a. I may return. So let me write one more method. So different in parameters, right? So same method with different in parameters. Return a plus b. And one more method I'm taking here. So if you look into this, so here I have written three methods. So the method name is same, but it is different in number of parameters. So these are called parameters. So first method is taking one parameter and second method is taking two parameters and third method is taking three parameters. So this is called method overloading. So let me how to call this. So create the object for this. So method overloading is nothing but static polymorphism, right? If you look into this, so now we will able to see three methods. So object name dot. So you will be able to see three methods. If I am passing some first one, so with two, so what will happen? So it will cause this method. And here, if you look into this, so this method. So here we are not passing any constructor. So here we are not creating any constructor. So what will happen? Your Java compiler, Java C will create a default constructor. And it will initialize all your non-static methods and non-static variables. So if you are not creating any constructor, so what will happen? Your Java compiler, Java C, will default constructor at the time of compilation only. So when you are compiling the code, that time only it will create a default constructor. And if you are creating some constructor, so if user is creating some constructor, so this is we are creating the constructor. Okay. So this is called zero argument constructor. If you are creating and if you are not passing anything, zero. And we can create n number of constructors. So we can create argument constructor also. So already we've seen this. So but again I'm explaining this. So which is taking one argument. So int something k. So this is called one argument constructor. Like that, we can create n number of constructors for your class. So when your constructor is going to come at the time of creating the object. So we will discuss again about this constructor. So let me remove this. Here we are, if you are not creating, so your Java compiler will create the default constructor. The responsibility of the default constructor is which will loads your all non-static methods and non-static variables into your memory at the time of creating the object. Oh, sorry. Let me do this. So why you are getting this issue? So here I have created one constructor with zero argument. Sorry, with one argument. So if you are creating a constructor with some argument, so you need to have one more constructor with zero argument constructor also. That's why it's giving the issue. So if you are creating any constructor with one parameter or two parameter, so then you should have a compulsory, you should have a zero argument constructor also. If you are not calling also, you should have a zero argument constructor. So this is zero argument constructor. This is one argument constructor. If you are directly writing one argument constructor, you will get a compilation error at the time of creating the object. So if you are creating something constructor with one argument or two arguments, then before that you need to create a zero argument constructor also. That's why we are getting the compilation error. So let me remove this, then you won't get any compilation error. And if you run this, so what we have done is here it's a static polymorphism, right? Nothing we have done. So we have written three methods. So and method name is same and different in parameters. This is called method overloading. So method overloading happens in a same class. So one class only. And here we have not created any constructor. So your Java compiler is going to create a default constructor. And here I am specifying at the compile time only. I am specifying which method we need to call. That's why this is the static polymorphism. If I run this, okay, let me return not present. For this, if you are returning means once again, I need to give system.out.py because it's returning. So let me run to see here the key value is 2. Because why it's not printing here means, so what is the use of return statement? The return statement will return some value to your calling method. So which is calling method is calling method. So here your main class is calling class. So here we are calling that method. So here we are calling that method. So if you look into this, so control and put your cursor here and click this. So it will goes to this method. And what this method is doing, it's not printing anything, it's returning some value. So if it won't print anything, so it will return some value to the calling method. So which method where, so in the line 9 we are calling that particular method. So that's why we need to store this value in some variable, or else you can directly print this also. That also not a issue. So here you can directly print this value also. That also works. But for your understanding, I am taking it as in some variable. So if I want to call something, so other method, how to call two argument method. So how to call 2 comma 3.
Yeah, just put like value.
So given so system dot out of them. Okay. So what we are doing here now, we are calling this method. So see, it will goes to this method. See, cursor comes to this one only. Let me show one more. So if I'm clicking here, control and keep your mouse cursor here, then it will give this one. So if you are putting outside this, so it will comes like this. But if you want to go to that particular method, control and click this one. So it will goes to the main class. So if I'm keeping here, so for which method it is going? So first one argument method. And if I'm keeping here, so for which method it is going? So two argument method. So now what will happen? This method will cause this one, and those two values are going to refers to this integer a and int b. And here what we are doing, just we are adding and we are returning. So again the control will comes to here, and the result is going to store in this variable. So let me run. So see, it is giving 5. So this is called static polymorphism. So because at the compile time only, we are manually specifying which method to call. So that's why it's a static, it's not dynamic. And one more thing is, so this is one example. So method overriding happens in two ways. So with different parameters or with different return types. If you look into this, so what is happening with different parameters, right? The number of parameters are different. So for first method 1, for second method 2, for third method 3. So depending on the parameters, it's calling. So let me look into another example. So this is first way of and second way is we can have a method overloading like this also. I will explain you first. Give me that example. So, two. So if method overloading means same method, right? So already I have used m1, m for this example. So now I am using m1.
You're doing method overriding, right?
It's a method overloading. See,
Yeah.
same
Okay. Now,
method with different parameters. Yeah,
yeah.
method overloading can happen two ways.
Yeah.
With different number of parameters. This is different number of parameters, right? So first
Yeah.
method is taking one parameter, second method two, third method three. But
Mhm.
same number of parameters, but difference in return type. Let me
Oh,
give you one example. So already we have used m, right, method. So now I am using something m1 method for this example. So public int. So which is taking int a b. So what it is doing? So it's returning a plus b. So same number of parameters, but different in return type. So method name is same, right? So let me copy that one. So the basic principle of method overloading is method name should be same. So I'm using for this is first scenario. So with different number of parameters. I'm writing second scenario with same number of parameters but different in return type. So same number of parameters but different in return type. So here I'm taking DOUPL double. So the return type is also double. So this is also one way of method overloading. So same number of parameters but different in return type. Can I have this one? So see, is this valid? This is not valid. So only difference in return type. So here everything is same, but here this method is returning integer value, but this method is returning double value. Is this possible? No. So if you are so different in if you are having same number of parameters, then you should have different return type. So let me add double. See, this is also valid. So same number of parameters, but different return types. So this first method, M1 is taking int, and the second one is taking double and int. So this is valid. So these are the two ways of your happening of method overloading. So different in parameters, but same parameters but different in return type. You understood, right?
Yeah, I understood. Thank you.
Yeah. How to call them? See, second scenario. This is first scenario, so this is second scenario. Second scenario. So how to call? Same class. So
Yes.
already we created the object. So method name is different. So dot m. So depending on the parameters. So what is the parameters it's taking? So a, if you are passing int comma int. So if I'm passing 2 comma 3. So which method it's going to come? So because that method is returning, right? So here and there I need to handle. I'm using some another variable k3. Now which method it's going to call?
It's gonna call the second one.
Yeah. So this is going to call this one because here we passed two integer values int. So according to that return types, so it will select. Here we are having two methods. So what are the value we are passing? Int. If you pass double and int, then it will goes to call this method. So let me run this. So it's giving this one. So this method it's called. So if you given double and int, so if I given double, so double means t2.
Yeah, it's gonna come on
Oh, sorry.
530.
1 second. This is double, right? Okay. And why we are getting the issue? Because here you need to change it to double. If you are adding double and integer, so double will occupies 8 bytes of memory and int will occupy 4 bytes of memory. So double means 2.09 something and int means something 2. So what is the value you will get? Again double only, right? 4.09. So this value won't be able to store in if I'm trying to store int. So int occupies only 4 bytes of memory. So int won't be able to store this value. That's why here we are getting the error. Cast to integer or change the k3 double. So I am changing this to double. So now if you look at this, so the control will goes to this method. So if I run this is the value 5.6. So if you look into this, the method overloading will happens in two ways. So same
You can
method
add parameter,
with
or you can add.
yeah, different parameters are with same parameters with different return type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is what is the advantage of using this method overloading means it will increase as a method visibility. See, if you look into this same method we are calling every time. So if you look into the first scenario with respect to this scenario, so only m method we are calling every time. So see m method, and if second scenario, so I'm using different method name. So m1 method I am using. Here also we are using the only same one method. So depending on the parameters, it will cause a particular method. So the method readability and method visibility will increase us with respect to your method overloading concept, and it will happen in the same class. So within the class. So this is a class opening this and closing this. So method overloading will happen in same class. So now we will discuss about method overriding. So method overriding labs in two classes. One is parent class and child class. So I'm writing one class A and one more class is B. I have written this one. So I'm writing one more class which contains main method. So main class method demo which will contain main method. So let me close others. See, if you are saying method overriding, so it will happen in superclass and subclass. So we need to have two classes, right? So A and B is the classes and this is the main method. So to call that method. So now assume A is superclass. So and how to get the relation between A and B? So by using extends. Extends A. Now A is a superclass and B is a subclass. So the basic principle of your method overriding is superclass and subclass is having same methods. So instead of calling superclass methods, subclass will call its own method by overriding the superclass method. So assume I'm having a method m1, return type is byte, and method name is m. So it's returning something. So and here we are having a B class. So B class is also having the same method. So which method I have used? This is from B class. So now I have created the two classes. A is a superclass and B is a subclass. And A is also having the same method m, and which is having its own implementation. And B is also having m method and which is having its own implementation. So now for which class I need to create the object? For base class. So the base class is B. So let's go to this class. So this is the main class which will contain a main method. So B is equal to new. Now B dot So if I run this, so I'm calling the method. So the output is, if you look into this, from B class. So so if you look into here itself, so P dot, so only one method, right? So M, because both the classes is containing same method. So what will happen? So the subclass B is a subclass, right? Here B is a subclass and A is a superclass. So what B class is doing is simply it's overriding the A class implementation, and it's calling its own method implementation. So that is called method overriding. So subclass is overriding superclass method implementation. So
All right.
the
Now,
superclass, yeah.
if I want to access the superclass method, right? Method, how I'm gonna do that in uh,
Yeah, we
uh
are having a final keyword. We will discuss that one. Once these things are completed, then already you asked the same question last session, so we'll discuss that one later.
okay.
So when you are discussing, we need to discuss around 4 keywords. That time we will discuss those things. And at the same time, we need to discuss about access modifiers and all those things. That time I will explain. So this is about your method overriding. So what happening? Why it is called as method overriding? Because your subclass is overriding your superclass method implementations, and it's calling its own implementation. See, both the classes, if you look into this, so both the classes are having the same method, but different implementations. This implementation is different, and this implementation is different. So it is implementing something. The method name is same. And what happening? So instead of calling your superclass method, so your subclass is calling its own method, and it's overriding your superclass method. So that's why it's called. So what is the output? See. So the output is this one from B class. So your subclass is overriding your superclass implementation. So that's why it's called method overriding, and it will happen in two classes, superclass and subclass. So this is the concept of your method overriding. Yeah, any doubts? Yeah. If you have any doubts, then we will discuss. Others we'll go for this abstraction.
uh if I want to access the variable from A, for variable A, right?
Yeah.
In can I able to do that or no?
Yeah, we can do that. So int A is equal to 20. We can able to. So this is for method only.
Like in this example, we are getting the access of the B, but I want to access the A variables.
See, what is the basic concept? Okay. Same value you want in the B also are different one.
So basically, we are overriding the parent class, right?
Yeah, parent class.
So whatever value we put in the parent class, and we're gonna overwrite in the child class.
Yeah, I will show you. See.
Now you're gonna get 25, right?
Yeah, you will get 25 only because if
If
both
I
are
want to
if
get
you
the value of like a 20, how I'm gonna do that?
yeah, final keyword is there. We will discuss that one later. Okay, all those things we will discuss later. So
Okay.
if you are having the same thing in superclass and subclass, if with respect to method or with respect to a variable, you can override those values. So if both superclass and subclass is having same method or same variable, so subclass will call its own implementations only, and you can't override static methods. Static and static variables. Static variables, because if you are saying something static means it's related to class level, not object level. So that's why you can't override static methods and static variables. We can override only non-static methods and non-static variables. So if you want to access your superclass method means you need to use final keyword before this. So these things we'll discuss later. So any questions? If you are good, then we'll go for this abstraction.
Can you go to the main method class, please? 1 second.
Nothing I have done. Just I have created the object for your subclass. So who is the subclass? B. And with the B only we are able to access. So in the inheritance we discuss all these concepts if you remember. This is for accessing the method and this is for accessing the variable.
Okay, sure.
So abstraction. So abstract like so once we completed the soups concepts, then I will explain about all those things. Means what are the different keywords and what is the access modifiers. So here we are using different access modifiers. So public, so public, so public, private, protected, default, all those things are there. With that, I will cover all those things. So abstraction. So what is abstraction? So abstraction means the name itself says. Abstraction means hiding of complexity. So if you are driving something, some vehicle, so everything is abstraction. So they will provide some interfaces. So if you are driving four wheeler, so they will abstract how your engine is working. Everything will be abstracted, and they will give four interfaces to work with your car. So like steering and your clutch, accelerator, and brake. Like that, they will give some user interfaces. So how your clutch is working. So it's abstraction only. Internally, it will cause some engine and engine will work. So the same way here also abstraction means hiding of the complexity or hiding of implementation. So to provide the security to your data, so I will give something. So I won't display what internally happening. So if you are looking this same code, so I don't want to display this implementation. So this is my business logic, right? So I don't want to expose this logic to all the users. So when you are going for real-time applications, so one part is taken care by one company and another part is taken care by other companies. So here you will have different layers. So those things we'll discuss when you are coming to JDBC and servlets. That time we'll discuss. So abstraction means simply remember hiding of complexity. How you will do that one, I will explain. So as of now, when you're working with examples, then you will able to understand. So abstraction means hiding of the complexity and hiding of the implementation. So I'm having some method. So what is the implementation? I don't want to display these implementations to some other person. So just I will provide an interface. So with that interface, you will able to access that. So simple way. If I want to drive your two-wheeler, so what are the interfaces they are providing? So how the engine works, it's abstraction only. So if you are using your clutch, so how it will work? So it's abstraction. Just they will provide some interface. So with that, you need to work with your business logic. So that is called abstraction. Hiding of your complexity and hiding of your method implementation. So that is called abstraction. So how you will achieve abstraction in Java? By using abstract classes, and second one is by using interface. So this is the two ways of abstraction. So one is abstract class and another one is interface. So first we will look into abstract class. So how you are abstracting the business logic, all those things you will be able to understand when I'm explaining one example. So same example I will explain with abstraction and interfaces also. So abstract class, and this is an interface. Interface is an interface, and abstract class is class. So what is the basic difference between your class and interface? So we will discuss that one. So first we will discuss about abstract class and interface, and after that you will be able to understand what is the difference between a class and interface. So what is a class? Basically, you know about for timing, let's uh, discuss about what is a class. So class, class name, and which will contain different methods. So method m1, m2, and some variables. So this is a called ordinary class, right? So and here you will have an access modifiers and a return type for these methods. So it assume it's a public byte, public byte. So the ordinary class, so what it will contain? So class will contain class name. So it's of type public. Public class name, and it will contain different variables and different methods. And this is called implementation of the method. So method. So here I am having public. So why? So open brace and close brace. So this is called your method implementation. Whatever you are writing here in between this open brace and close brace. So that is called your method implementation. So here you will write some lines of code. Code, right? So to perform some logic. So what is the method? So assume this method is create and apply. So what are the business logic? So for creating an employee, so what are the conditions or what are the code you need to write? That code you need to write here. So the method implementation will happen in between this open brace and close brace. So here we are providing some implementation. Here we are writing some code. So we are providing the some code implementation. Same way. So if you look into this public void, so here also the method is having open brace and close brace. Now here I am not writing anything. So this is called default implementation. So you will understand this when you are working with interfaces. For time being, please understand this terminology and concept. So here I am having two methods. So here the method implementation will happen between open brace and close brace. So here I am writing some business logic. So this is called your method implementation with some logic, some business logic. But here I am having one more method, public byte M2. And here I am doing default implementation. I am not writing anything, but I want to implement that method. So simply write open brace and close brace. What we are doing here, we are not doing anything. Just we are doing the default implementation. Do we are doing any implementation? Do we are writing any code here? No, nothing we are doing. Just we are doing the default implementation. How to do the default implementation? By using open brace and close brace. When you need to go for a default implementation, that we will discuss. So these are the two ways of declaring. Now I don't want to declare any implementation for this method. So I am having one more method M3. I don't want to implement anything for this method. So how to declare this one? Semicolon. So here I am having, if you look into this, I am having a class. So remember, so for time being, let me comment. So this class is now ordinary class, which is having two methods. One is having a some method implementation, and this is having default implementation. Nothing I am doing, just open brace and close brace. And here I am having one more method, M3 method, which don't have any implementation. Implementation means open brace and close brace. So this is called default implementation. Nothing weird. But I don't want to do this also. I don't want to do this one also. Then how to declare that method? Now you are not implementing this method. So this method is called abstract method. Abstract method. So if your class contains at least one abstract method, then you need to declare your class as an abstract. So now see, till before this method 3, your class is ordinary class because it's containing two methods and two methods are having implementation. Create employee is having some implementation and M2 is having default implementation. Default implementation means I am not doing anything, just open brace and close brace. But after that, I have added one more method and which don't have any implementation. So then that method is called abstract method. So if your class contains abstract method, then you should declare that class as abstract. So then who is going to implement this method? So I'm having one more class. Test one issue. So public class test. So who's extend? So class will extend another class and interface can extend another class. Sorry, interface can extend another interface. So extends. So this class name. Assume this class is test. Extends test. And use. So now the extending class. So this is the extending class, right? And this is superclass. So the extending class has to implement this method with some implementation or empty implementation. So, cool. So what is the meaning of abstract class? So if your class containing at least one abstract method, then you should declare that class as an abstract method. And what is the use of abstract method? So assume my class is having 10 methods or 3 methods. So I know the implementation of only 2 methods and I don't know the implementation of third method. Some other developer is going to implement that method. So assume this is my class and I am going to implement these two methods. And this third method, I am not going to implement this third method. So some other person is going to implement this third method. So then what I need to do is I need to make my class as abstract class. So that other person who is going to implement this functionality, this method 3 functionality will extend my class and he will implement that functionality. So assume here I am having two abstract methods, M4. So this test class is going to implement only one method, M3 method. Then again, what I need to do? Again, I need to make it as, because it's not implemented all the methods, right? One more abstract method is there. So we need to make this class also abstract. And I'm having one more method. So let me remove this. So class test2 extending test1. And here I am implementing test2. So this is the use of your abstract method. But nowadays we won't use abstract methods. Everything will happens in interface only. So we'll discuss detail in example. Don't worry. So abstract means if your class containing at least one abstract method, then that class should be. Then you need to make that class as abstract. So what is the difference between your normal class and abstract class? Your normal class won't have any abstract methods. It will have either implementation or default implementation. You will have. But if you are having a method with no implementations, so that method should be declared it as abstract. So if your class contains one abstract method, then your class should make it as abstract.
Definition.
So now we'll go to interfaces. What is an interface? What is the difference between your abstract class and interface? So interface. So interfaces will contain all the methods are abstract. In interface, all abstract. So how to declare your interface? So if you want to declare a class, means public class name. So here how to declare an interface? Interface name. So it will contain all methods are abstract only. So how to make it? How to declare an abstract method? You need to have semicolon at the end. So all methods are abstract. By default, if you are declaring a method in abstract interface means all the methods are abstract. So no need to specify abstract method before that. So write empty. Right. So what will happen? So when you are compiling this code, so your Java compiler will add public abstract before your method. So if you are declaring any method in your interface means all methods are by default abstract methods only. By default public and abstract. So you don't need to specify anything here. If you don't specify this also, your Java compiler at the compile time only Java C, your Java compiler will add public abstract before your methods. So you no need to add anything. By default, if you are declaring any method in your interface, by default public abstract. So your interface will contains all the methods are abstract methods. But when it comes to your abstract class, so your abstract class will contain abstract methods as well as non-abstract methods also. If your class contains at least one abstract method, here we are having two techniques, at least one abstract method, then your class should be abstract. So how to declare your abstract method? So at the end, you need to specify semicolon because you don't have any implementations. So this is the difference. So your abstract class will contain abstract methods and non-abstract methods. But when it comes to your interface, so this is your interface. Interface will contain all abstract methods only. All are abstract methods only. How to make a method as abstract? So you need to add this one. So any questions?
Uh, so what I got, like in abstract class, we can have uh, abstract method as well as normal methods, method with body. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And interface, only abstract method, no
Abstract
body.
method, no, but it's only if you are saying interface means only method declaration will be there. No
Okay.
implementation will be there. So
Okay.
how to achieve abstraction? These things we'll discuss in the next sessions. So the basic difference is, and in real-time scenarios, we won't use abstract classes. Don't worry about these things. So, but
Oh,
you need to know the concept. So,
why we're not gonna use like in real time, like abstract method?
so interfaces, by using interfaces, we can achieve this functionality, right?
Yeah.
And why we are using. So Java does not support multiple
Inherit.
inheritance with respect to classes, but
Yeah.
Java supports multiple inheritance with respect to interfaces. So assume I'm having a public class A and it's already extending. Sorry, E is caps. So extends. Suppose assume it's extending some class B. So can I extend this one? So I want to get this functionality also. The class name is test, right? So
Mhm.
can I extend this one? No.
No.
So it's already extending some functionality B plus. And can I extend this? No. We will get compilation error. But same way, public class. So class will implement because see, your interface won't have any body, right?
Yeah.
So who is need to implement that body? Who is extending? So who is implementing this interface? So
Yes.
so class will extend another class. A. Please remember. So class A. I am having a class A, sorry, and class,
B.
sorry, C, B. This is
Hmm.
also class. So if you remember, class A
Yeah.
extends,
B.
class extends B. Okay,
Yes.
and assume I am having an interface I1 and in comma interface I2. So and so if I want to get the functionality, so I1 extends
I2.
I2. See, if both are classes, then you need to use extend. Both are interfaces, you need to use extend. But I want to get the functionality of interface into my class. So then A is a class, right?
Yes.
And I is the interface, right? So now you
Yeah.
need to use implement. Implement I1. So this is the you need to use. So same way, my class is having so implements.
So in
Implements.
interface, it's like inheritance.
Yeah, it can, yeah, with respect to interfaces, we can achieve multiple inheritance. So you can implement any number of interfaces, I2, I3.
Okay.
And at the same time, I want to, so already my class is extending these interfaces, right? Now I
Mm-hmm.
want to, can I extend a class B?
Yes.
Yeah, we can extend. So this is the advantage. So
Oh,
already my class is extending some class. Then also you can implement your interfaces, more than one interface.
Okay.
So this is the advantage of using interfaces. So that's why we won't use any abstract class in real-time scenarios. We will use interfaces only, and your interfaces will default contains all abstract methods. So how to declare abstract method? So method with semicolon.
Mm-hmm.
So assume this is my interface. So I1. Assume this name is I1. Let's go to this class and same one. I'm copy pasting here. Control C and implements. Implements. One second. So why you need to go for the default implementation also we will discuss. So
Okay, default.
yeah,
Okay.
I1. So now this is my interface, right? So this is my interface. The name of the interface is I1. Assume. So this is my interface. And now I need to implement that interface. If both are same, you need to use extend. If both are classes, both are interfaces, then you need to use extend. But if you want to use your interface, you need to implement that interface. So now open base and close base. In class A, I am implementing my interface. My interface is containing two abstract methods, M1 and M2. So for M3, I am the developer who is going to implement this method. So by default, these are public abstract. So here I am writing some business logic with respect to my method. And M4, I don't know. I am not going to implement. So if I won't implement this M4 method, what I need to do is I need to make this class as abstract, right?
Yes.
Because if you are extending or implementing, so this is super class, so you will get the super interface, you will get the all the properties of this class. So you need to either implement these two methods, two are abstract methods, m3 or m4, or else you need to make your classes abstract. So if you are making your classes abstract, you can't able to create an object for your abstract classes. So if I'm unable to create an object for this class M3, so I can't able to test my functionality, right? I have already implemented this M3 functionality, and now I want to test this functionality before moving this code into some repository. So what? So to overcome that one, so what I need to do is so if I'm not implementing this M4 method, so what I need to do, because my class is containing one abstract method, because my interface contains two abstract methods, so I'm implementing only one method, and here one more method is there which is abstract method. So if I'm not implementing that abstract method, so I need to make this class as abstract. So if I'm declaring my class as abstract, I won't able to create the object. So if I'm not able to create the object, I won't able to access this m3 method. So to overcome that problem, so what I need to do is I need to override the M4 method, default implementation. Nothing you need to do. Just specify open brace and close brace. Now remove this abstract method. And now go to the main method. So another class test. Now, suppose test 7 agent. This is a class which will contain main method public, right? Main method, and create the object for this class, and you will able to test this method.
Yep.
So this is the use of default implementation. So if your interface contains 10 methods, you are going to implement 5 methods, and other developer is going to implement another 5 methods. So after implementing your 5 methods, you need to test your code, right? So from 1 to 5 methods you have implemented, and 5 to 10 methods, see 6 to 10 methods some other developer is going to implement. So to test your functionality, what you need to do is you override means provide your default implementation for other methods. Then you will able to create the object for that, and you will able to test your functionality. So that is the user your default implementation. So we will look into this things tomorrow with examples.
Sure.
And tomorrow, please join at 7:30.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. 7:30. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Because
Thank you.
we will get 1.5 hour, right? We can
Okay.
discuss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome. And also send the videos.
Yeah,
It's
sure, sure. I will upload. Yesterday, I'm facing some issue with the net. I will
yeah,
upload
no
the
problem.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you very much. Very. Have a good
Yeah,
day.
yeah. You too. Thank you. Bye.